We'll go right back to our phone callers. We'll talk next to Armando in St. Louis, Missouri. Hi, Armando.
Hi, Hank. Thanks for taking my call.
Pleasure.
My question is, some friends and I were talking about God and a hypothetical world where, or society where there is no morals and someone was born in there and they sin, but within their own conscience it's clear. They don't think they've done any wrong. And God, this is a point that some friends have brought up before, God would send them to hell. And how would I respond to that point?
Well, a couple of things I would say right off the bat is that the reality is that God gave us the light of creation. He also gave us the light of conscience, and therefore we are without excuse. We have an outer light and an inner light, and Paul makes this very clear in Romans chapter 1. It says that the wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of men who suppress the truth by their wickedness, since what may be known about God is plain to them because God has made it plain to them. And Jesus said essentially the same thing to Nicodemus. The problem is not that there's not enough light. He said that light came into darkness, but men loved darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. So they displace light with darkness because they love darkness rather than light. Paul is emphatic. He says, since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power, his divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that men are without excuse.
Okay. So the basic point would be that, in that sense, people have decided to ignore the good and replace it with evil.
Yeah, exactly. And Paul goes on to say just that. He says, although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God nor gave thanks to him, but their thinking became futile and their foolish hearts were darkened. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images made to look like mortal men, birds and animals and reptiles and the like. So the point here is that if you look at the universe around you, you see the sun, moon, and stars, you immediately know there's a God. If you see a basketball, you know there's a basketball maker. How much more so the intricacies of a universe that is beyond our ken? Not only that, though, as Paul explains in Romans chapter 2, God has written the knowledge of himself upon the very tablet of our heart. That's why we say humorously, in some cases not so humorously, there are no atheists in foxholes. We all know that there's a God from both the external evidence and the internal evidence, and people want to suppress that, and there's a reason for that. The moment we give credence to the notion of God, there is the notion of accountability, and people do not want to be accountable.
Okay, I see. Well, thank you very much.
You got it.